need Instagram, ensure you share. You actually
Hi, can you guys hear me? Hello, you can hear me. You can drop your favorite emoji. Okay, thank you, Dorcas. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, John. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, everybody. Okay, I can see more people are joining. So welcome everybody, welcome to BNet Learning. It's great to have you here and thank you for taking our time to be part of this session. So I will just add welcome. Welcome Samuel. Oh,
Thank you so much.
So much noise in the background. Sorry about that. Hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Okay, I think the second speaker is trying to join. Okay, welcome, Dami. So, welcome everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to this session. Welcome to Being Learning. So today we'll be talking about the value of a Scrum Master certification in the tech era. And I'm sure a lot of us have heard about Scrum. We've been wondering what is Scrum, why Scrum. So today we're actually going to be talking about all of that. I'll start by introducing myself. So I'm Bukola Koladi. I'm a product manager with BNet Learning. BNet Learning is a learning and development platform that for those who do not know what we do. We're a learning and development platform for professionals. So we take courses such as business analysis, data analysis, Scrum, project management, and the like. So if you're looking to do any of these courses, you're in the right space. I will just introduce our speakers. We have two speakers here today. We have Damilola Oluwaseye. So Damilola is a program manager with up to 10 years of experience in driving project delivery and automation efforts across the fintech, banking, and GovTech space. He's skilled in several project delivery methodologies. He has experience with improving delivery team dynamics and performance through application of time-tested Agile, Scrum, and mindset shift principles. Welcome, Dami. It's great to have you here.
Hi, thank you for having me. Good evening, everyone. I'm happy to be here.
Okay. Our second speaker is Samuel Emmanuel. Samuel is the Chief Operating Officer for Blue Tag Technologies and a product development consultant with Health Station Limited. As a people and process developer, he has over 10 years of business experience in software engineering, enterprise systems, automation, and system infrastructure integration solutions for businesses. He is a computer science graduate from the University of Benin and a certified Scrum Master. Welcome, Samuel.
Thank you very much, Bukola.
We're glad to have you here. So we will just go straight to business. So welcome again, everybody. And so, as we all know, there has been a buzz about Scrum. Organizations around the world are accepting Scrum as primary project management framework, even for product development. And according to a report by the World Economic Forum, Scrum-related jobs will actually dominate the future market as they continue to be growing demands for them, especially in the product development domain. I mean, we're in the tech era, there's digitalization, we have several products. A lot of people are actually adopting Scrum in managing their projects. And some of us are actually familiar with what Scrum is, while some of us are still trying to wrap our head around what Scrum is and the concept. So I would just start with Dami. What's a Scrum? Can you throw more light on what Scrum is?
Okay, thank you for that question. Scrum is a framework within the Agile delivery methodology. It's a framework that is used for developing, delivering, and sustaining products in a complex environment. Can you hear me well? Hello?
I hope we can all hear Dami. If you can hear Dami, can you just put your favorite emoji in the chat box?
Okay, I guess I'll just speak just to be sure that everyone can hear me. Samuel, can you hear me? Bukola, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I think you can pitch a bit so
Yeah,
that.
it's low.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you again for having me. Like I said, Scrum is a framework within the Agile delivery methodology, and it basically helps us to build, develop, sustain products in complex environments. Now, if you look at the World Economic Forum data that Bukola just quoted, Scrum is going to become increasingly popular because, today, whether anybody likes to agree or not, we live in what we call a VUCA world, a volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world, right? And Scrum itself is a framework that was designed intentionally to help us, navigate that VUCA world when it comes to product development, digital technology, software, primarily, but today something that is extendable to any kind of industry, anywhere in the world.
Okay, thank you, Dami. Thank you for that brief introduction to what Scrum is. So I'm sure people have also been wondering what roles are in Scrum. I mean, some people want to know what they can actually do in Scrum, what they can do with the Scrum framework. So if you could also shed more light on what roles we actually have in Scrum.
Okay. Fundamentally, there are three recognized roles in Scrum. But I mean, one of the roles will accommodate as many, I mean, different skill sets, right? But primarily within the Scrum framework, we have the role of the Scrum Master. We also have the role of the product owner or product manager, like a lot of us know it today. And then the role of the developers, the people that actually do the work. That's where in software development space, we talk about the software developers, we talk about the quality assurance engineers, we talk about the DevOps engineers, we talk about maybe the database administrator, any kind of skill set required to deliver on a product, right? All of those skill sets wrapped together form what we call the development team. So no matter what you do, there's a space for you within the Scrum framework.
Okay, thank you for that. So we have roles such as Scrum Master, Product Owner, and the like in Scrum. So from my knowledge of Scrum, by the way, I'm actually Scrum Fundamental certified, yes, so I know a bit about Scrum. So I know Scrum focuses on value delivery. It focuses on a value-driven delivery, which actually helps Scrum teams deliver results as early as possible in project or in product development, right? And Samuel, you're a product owner, right? Who is also a Scrum Master. So how do you apply Scrum to what you currently do? How does Scrum help you deliver value?
All right, thank you so much, Bukola. I think a bit of a foundation would help here. Before Scrum came into the picture, it was basically you're a project manager, you're a program manager, or you're a portfolio manager, right? And so you would find yourself either handling multiple projects, which obviously now makes you a manager, or you're just focused on trying to deliver value through one project. But when Scrum came into the picture, it was not difficult to match that. Sometimes I was playing the role of a Scrum Master, other times I was playing the role of a product owner, and sometimes either you are a chief Scrum Master or a chief product owner, right? Regardless of what it is called, it's been fantastic, really, from when my journey and then as a company, we embraced the Scrum framework in the delivery of value to our customers. It's basically simple to use. I think you would agree that if you have a project to deliver a certain value or a service to your customer, knowing what to do already made your life a lot easier, right?
Yeah.
Scrum structured, you would find that there are principles. Okay, so the principles help your team to be self-organized, helps your team to know how to collaborate, help your team to know how to measure through the empirical process control, right? So there's transparency, there is adaptability, there is inspection, and your team understands that there is iterative development. So it doesn't matter whether you're trying to just deliver a component or whether you're just trying to deliver just a smaller portion of the entire requirement for your customer. You can iteratively, deal with that's all of the requirement that you have based on the value prioritization that your team has done. So the principle actually just made life a lot easier for the entire team, okay? But beyond the principle, you would also find that Scrum has three major, areas, right? So there's the principle, there is the aspect, and there is the process, right? So the processes are also clearly outlined. You have what you need to do when you're initiating the project, and everybody just knows that because Scrum has defined it. Okay, the activities that needs to happen when you're initiating, everybody just knows there has to be a project vision, and there has to be identification of who is going to be a Scrum Master, how will the Scrum team be formed, who is doing what, and after that, what needs to happen when you are now planning and estimating, what needs to happen when you're implementing, what needs to happen when you're carrying out review and carrying out retrospecting, and then what needs to happen when you're releasing whatever version to your customer. So knowing what to do made the life of the team a lot easier. But beyond making it easier, it also helped everyone to improve, okay? Because if you have an unorganized team, it will tell in the delivery. You would obviously overshoot your timelines. You would not be able to satisfy your customer. If you don't understand value-based prioritization, you could pick something that is of less value to the customer and focus a lot of effort and energy in trying to deliver it. And by the time the customer gets to see what you're doing, you must have burnt maybe 2 weeks, 4 weeks into trying to build that. The customer says, no, we have a change in our process. Our own customers no longer require this. How do you handle that, right? So it quickly brought to bear on my team and the entire organization that we need to be more open to change, okay? So instead of just focusing on accelerated delivery, we were now focusing also, in fact, we had to prioritize adaptability to change higher than accelerated delivery, okay? Because it's basically, in physics, you have scalar quantity and you have the vector quantity. You can run with so much speed in the wrong direction, right? But once you understand the value of the customer, it was easy to now put all of the resources using what has been laid out by Scrum to deliver value to the customer. So it's been an amazing experience so far since we embrace Scrum. Thank you, Bukola.
Okay, thank you, Samuel. So basically, now we know that Scrum actually makes life easy. Let's be honest. So it helps us actually prioritize value, helps us be value-based, right? And so a lot of people have been having this misconception, should I say, or people actually think that Scrum and Agile are actually the same thing, because Scrum is centered around continuous improvement, like Samuel has said, which is actually a core principle of Agile. So Dami, would you help us shed more light on the difference between Agile and Scrum? Sorry, Dami, I don't think we can hear you.
Dami, we can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I think it's better.
Yes.
Right. Thank you for that question, Bukola. So the first thing to note as a difference between Agile and Scrum is that Agile is a methodology, is a mindset, is a set of principles, right? That helps us to shape the way we think, the way we engage with customers, the way we prioritize delivery and all of those things. It's first of all a set of principles. It is a mindset. It is a methodology, right? Scrum is a framework built off the Agile methodology. Scrum is the most popular Agile framework out there, or most popular, most framework the framework that is in use the most, right? Another difference is, think of Agile as an umbrella, right? A big umbrella, and Scrum being one of the pillars upholding that umbrella, right? Agile is fundamentally a mindset. I mean, we like you rightly said, it has almost become a buzzword. Everybody says I'm agile, I'm agile. Think of a cheetah, the animal cheetah in the forest, right? It needs to survive every day, right? It needs to eat. It needs to go after the prey, right? The ability, literally, agile is the ability to move quickly and respond to change or changing situations without breaking your backbone. Like think of an agile cheetah in the forest. It's sighted a prey at a distance, right? And it's going after it. It has calculated, I need to run 100 meters or something to get there. And then suddenly, at 20 meters to go, the prey sights the cheetah that is coming, and the prey changes direction. Now, a very agile cheetah will not continue to go in the direction that it is going. It will also need to change direction to make sure that it catches up with the prey. So it's a mindset that knows that if I'm going to survive, if I'm going to get what I want, I need to be able to change direction quickly, adjust myself. That's agile fundamentally. The same way for organizations. We set up our strategy, our target for the year. We want to make X billion dollars or naira in a year, and then market dynamics changes. Now, for an organization that has agile mindset from leadership to membership, they will know that we can easily adjust ourselves. And I can give you a simple example. One of the big corporations in Nigeria, when COVID came, decided to start producing hand sanitizers, right? I mean, they just realized that, man, there's some market here. They started producing hand sanitizers. Today, of the success of producing hand sanitizer, even though it was not in their agenda or their strategy for the year, but they saw that opportunity and their agile mindset pushed them in that direction. Off of that, starting to produce hand sanitizer, today they produce household items off of that success, right? So that's the mindset of Agile. So Agile is first of all a mindset. Scrum is now the framework, the most popular Agile framework, right? That is built on top of the Agile mindset, Agile principles, and all of that, right? And allows us to manage and navigate complex systems and productive. I hope that clarifies for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. So Agile is a mindset, like you said, and Scrum is a framework of Agile. Yeah, thank you so much, Dami. So, what, Samuel, you are Scrum Master certified, and I said yes, I'm Scrum Fundamental certified. So, what do you think are the benefits that you've seen so far taking the Scrum Master certification? How has it helped you?
So I think the first thing is a mind shift. Okay, the first thing is a mind shift. You're used to taking on projects and delivering it based on some practices or standards that are not properly guided, right? And then you gradually allowed yourself, maybe through reading or through discussions like this, you identify that there is a more structured way that can increase your productivity beyond what you were doing, all right? So for me, getting into Scrum was more of a search to help my team become better at what we do, right? We have some people who are PMP certified, obviously in the team, but beyond just being PMP certified and having other certification, how do we bring all of our experience, all of our experiences into, you know, being more agile, being agile generally. There's nothing like being more agile, right? Being agile and delivering projects that our customers will look at and say, yes, these are our partners in progress. So the benefits I have derived from being Scrum Master certified, from my portfolio, you could see that I am heavy on operations, being a chief operating officer, and I'm also heavy on product development, being a product development consultant, right? And these are different organizations. So my approach to both organizations will be different. But regardless, being Scrum Master certified helps both my team on both organizations, right? So from being a chief operating officer, I wanted to be aware of what the entire Scrum body of knowledge was about, right? Before I committed resources in getting my team to be Scrum Master certified, I wanted to go through the process. So it actually started from go through the process and see how much benefit the process delivers to you, and then translate that benefit to all the other members of the team. And so the moment I went through the process, I immediately got my management to approve for 5 additional people. In fact, they took the training with me, right, to be certified as well. And right now we have 5 certified. By Friday this week, we'll have the 6th person who will be certified, at least from one of the organizations, while the others are still studying too. So you would see that there was an instant excitement in the team. That was the first thing, because everybody now knew that there was a better way to do things, right? And they could call it what it was. If you're having a stand-up meeting, it's not because you're standing up technically. It's because being defined in your Scrum body of knowledge to be a 10 to 15 minutes daily meeting that needs to happen to review progress of what has been said will be done yesterday, right? So it became really exciting working on a project together, because everyone understood that if the project fails, it's a collective responsibility. Then the second thing that it actually brought in was one, I think it helped the organization to identify that there was a shortfall of manpower very quickly, because you would find that if you need to constitute a 2-week sprint, a focused 2-week sprint, you can't take a member of the Scrum core team and get the person to focus on another project at the same time. For example, if somebody shouldn't be shuttling between one project within his sprint and another project, right? So it clearly revealed the practices were not optimal, and we had to make the needed adjustment to be sure that people who are focusing within their sprint cycle are, focusing on their requirements, on the user stories that have been committed, and are delivering on their job. If at the end of that sprint cycle you want to redirect their energy into some other, endeavors based on value prioritization, then you can do that. So it also brought in a proper structure into what we were doing, right? The thought was that when you talk about the principles, you know that there are basic skill sets that individuals need to possess. Everyone started to also look in. I have been playing the role of a Scrum Master, but in the Scrum body of knowledge, there were qualities defined for a Scrum Master. You need to be approachable, you need to be a moderator, you need to be someone who's capable of facilitating. So everyone just began to improve one way or the other because now, apart from the team that had become Scrum Master certified, there was also a transfer of knowledge down the line, even to other members of the team that are not yet Scrum Master certified. Now, the interesting bit is there was a direct influence that started to affect our customers. Because when requirements get defined, maybe we're in a requirement session and we begin to guide the customer through the processes that we will take to deliver value to them, they started to see themselves aligned without even knowing it that they were practicing Scrum with us, right? Because they were having, to join us periodically for a stand-up if we need verification, beyond what the product owner, or if the product owner invited them to join a stand-up session or a review session. So we found out that our customers were even becoming better because we're extending this practice to them. And they will ask you, what's the meaning of this? Explain to them, okay, so this is what this means, right? Some customers will just bring a requirement and they want to right now to start doing it. But when you come up with a storyboard, for example, that helps to touch on the user story points before you go into dimensioning the user story, the rest of the processes that follow from the release, you find out that they have learned. So it became a win-win situation for everybody. It's excited, the team is improving. Management saw the need to restructure and provide, because one of the things Scrum will provide is overborn, right? People get to work. They don't understand work-life balance. There is no relief plan. There is nothing. So it just brought in a whole lot of beautiful experiences for everybody. So I think in a nutshell, there were improvements across the team, across the customers.
Oh, thank you, Samuel. So Scrum doesn't actually just benefit the Scrum Master, but actually benefits everyone across the organization and even to the customers. Thank you. So you mentioned getting your team certified after you got certified. And I know someone dropped a question, I think Dorcas. She said, in your team, is everyone certified? And if no, how do you manage those that aren't certified? And I know you already said some of them got certified and the last person is going to be certified this weekend. But how have you been able to actually manage that person? Or even before the other people were certified, how have you been able to manage them?
Okay, so thank you so much for that question. I think that implementing Scrum Framework is a process, right? It's not an overnight job. And not think that every single member of your organization becomes Scrum certified. They could, if you want to, but not everybody will, right? So you would have instances where some and some are not. But how do you get everybody to work together? Okay? First of all, there has to be training the trainers, the ideology. Remember when my speaker Dami was trying to define it, he said it's a mindset. Okay, so there has to be a power of the light to every other member of the team. So why we need to practice Scrum. And let me tell you, it's actually that's the purpose of Scrum: continuous learning. It makes for continuous learning, right? It's not a one-time thing. We got members of the project management team, members of the product development team, and then I from operations, just so that I have a better eye view of what's happening, and to be able to now set up the there's a what's it called, like Scrum. You may want to help me. Some documentation and a member of team helps to improve the Scrum practice. Okay, so that the organization does not deviate standards that have been set, right? So you find out that select people were trained first of all, so that they can go back to their department and train other people in their department, right? And there's also a set level, of course, by organizational structure before you can now be sent for such a training and get certification if you're not doing it by yourself. But the whole idea is constant awareness. There's always monthly general assembly to discuss, are we still practicing Scrum? Are we practicing it the way it is specified to be practiced? Who else in the team is not understanding it? Let's clarify. So I am playing that role of clarifying to the entire team, this is the way to be done. And then for those who are interested, we now schedule them to say maybe Q2 you can get certified, maybe Q3 you can get certified, on the basis of how the progress for each person, the kind of work that they are going to be doing. But to answer the question, constant practice by everybody, as long as everyone is to it and see the value in it, whether you're certified or not, you're going to align with Scrum. Notice that your life is easier.
Thank you, Samuel. I hope that has answered your question, Dorcas. I can see comments. David said proper Scrum Master stuff. Yeah. Okay. So one of the things I know about Scrum, the Scrum framework, is that it is structured in a way that it actually supports products and services development across all types of industries, right? And Samuel here is a proven example of a product owner who uses Scrum framework, right? So, Dami, can you tell us who else is the Scrum certification beneficial to?
So, yeah, thanks for that question, Bukola. So, I mean, from what I've heard so far, it's clear that even to our customers, right, the Scrum certification is important. If you want to lead, if you want to transform your organization, right, as a leader in any organization, driving your people to possess this kind of mindset is important. So leadership at various levels within organizations need to come on board the Scrum train and get certified as well. Team members at tactical level, at strategic level, product owners, even software developers, right? I've seen software developers that radically transformed their delivery rate because they got the understanding of how things should work. I mean, I'm just listening to Samuel talk. You can see that he has gone through that experience of maybe coming out from a rather more frustrating way of working to something that is tangible, measurable. You can see quick results. You can see that, okay, I'm making progress. We are moving away from where we used to be to where we want to be. And the customers are obviously delighted. So anything that would delight the customers, anything that would prioritize the customers, will definitely bring more money to the organization. So I think Scrum benefits everybody. The certification is just something that everybody should jump on.
Thank you. Yeah, so I actually use Scrum. Like I when I was doing my introduction, I said I'm a product manager, right? So I use Scrum, and like you said, it's also beneficial to the customers. It's beneficial to software developers, and in fact, it's beneficial to everybody. So thank you so much for that, Dami. Can you describe the role and responsibilities of a product owner?
So there are many roles and responsibilities of the product owner. I mean, we could go on and on, but I usually like to talk about the most important ones. The ones that if you fail to do, then don't bother to call yourself a product owner, right? And that role is to first of all, be a vision carrier as a product owner, a vision carrier. Somebody has an idea, whether it's you or somebody else that has that idea, they share it to you. They say, look, we trust you to bring this vision, this idea to life. If you don't share in that vision, there's no way you can bring it to life. It's not possible, right? So you need to be, first of all, a vision carrier. If you like, so in some big organizations in the world today, they talk about a chief vision officer, right? Yeah, you're someone that carries the vision. Like, where do we want to go? You need to be a vision communicator, right? As a product owner, you are the interface between the business team and the delivery team. If you don't know how to communicate very well, you are going to hear wrongly from the business team or the sponsor or whoever has the idea and is dropping the resources, and you are going to communicate wrongly as well. So carrying the vision, communicating the vision clearly, they are fundamentals for me for the product owner. And then on top of that, if you add somebody that has domain knowledge, within the industry, if you want to be a product owner within the aviation industry, for instance, it will help to have some domain knowledge of aviation industry and a couple of other things. Somebody that can think for the customer, understands technology to some extent, understand a revenue, right? While we are not building the product for fun, we want to build it so that we can make money. Understand value delivery, right? So those are the roles and responsibilities of a product owner. But fundamentally, it has to be somebody that carries the vision and can communicate the vision. Every other thing can be added on top of that.
Thank you. Vision carrier and vision communicator. That really stuck. Thank you. So I can see someone asking a question. Johnny, does having the Scrum certification have any financial benefits? So, well, I think it does. Any work will have financial.
I know it does. I can give you a quick response, right?
Okay.
So let's not kid ourselves. We all get certified because we want. We get knowledge because we want a better life, right? As of today, somebody called me this afternoon and said, look, and the person is a Scrum Master, and the person said, I have an offer worth $5,000 a month. I requested for $5,000 a month, and the company is trying to negotiate with me to bring it down. Just somebody that I know. Now, because the person is Scrum certified anyway, you can command. There are a lot of opportunities, right, left, and center that you can take advantage of. And because, like I said at the start, the world has become increasingly volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. And Scrum is the response to that when it comes to delivering digital products and services. So trust me, there are going to be lots and lots more opportunity for Scrum Masters, especially the certified ones. So the opportunities are endless. It's not just it makes you a better delivery person, but trust me, the opportunities are opening up, you can take that to the bank.
Okay. Thank you. Someone is also saying, where do we see all these offers by? Right there, go to LinkedIn. So thank you so much, Dami, for that. So this is to you, Samuel. So we know that, or I know that Scrum actually encourages self-organization in teams. But I know there are times where, I'm sure there would have been times where there are conflicts in your team, right? So how do you handle conflicts? How do you deal with conflict in your Scrum team?
Okay, thank you so much again. Once you have more than yourself in an environment, there will be some form of conflict. Conflict is not necessarily a bad thing. Just be disagreement. I don't know, can you hear me very well?
Yes, can hear you.
Just be between two members of the team or one or more members of the team. Okay. If it's a difference that has to do, because now we will need to dimension what kind of disagreement is it. Is it a disagreement in terms of requirements? If it is a disagreement in terms of requirements, then we would need the product owner to clarify, because the product owner is the voice of the customer, right? If we need further clarification, there are other stakeholders that are not part of the Scrum core team that could also be part of certain review meetings, right? But there would need to be clarification if it's a disagreement with regards to requirement. It may be issues with the environment, the conduciveness of the environment where the team works. The role of the Scrum Master is facilitation and providing conducive environment for the team to work, right? So the Scrum Master will need to identify what the impediment is and take agreed measures to be able to sort out that impediment so that it can be more productive. It could even be a simple disagreement over trying to estimate a user story. The developer who is going to create the deliverable is telling you this user story cannot take less than 5 days. And the owner is saying the customer is in need of this, can it be delivered in shorter time? There are ways and measures. If it is established, because you're not the one creating the delivery, definitely it is the developer that's creating it. We need to commit more developers to the project in order to cut down on the time of delivery for that particular requirement. Or how the Scrum Master does not make the decision. He just facilitates and helps the team to make positive inputs, statement of facts, considerations that allows the team to now collectively agree on the best way forward for the project. Okay, and that's where the organization actually look from, because there are stages to achieve when the whole team will now be in sync. There's always a chaotic season. Everybody is still clashing, different opinion. Some feels that ego is coming into the equation. You want to be heard. I want to be the boss. In Scrum, there is no boss. We're all team players, and the Scrum Master is just facilitating to be sure that we are positively thinking about how to deliver on requirements or deliver the to the customer. So it's just about dialogue and making sure that you are progressing and are channeled towards delivery value.
Okay, thank you so much, Samuel. So in addition to what you said, what would you say are the key skills a Scrum Master should have in order to perform effectively? Because you already said the Scrum Master facilitates, right? It's not like the Scrum Master is the boss. So what are the skills that the Scrum Master should actually have in order to perform effectively?
Okay, so I think that you need to be an expert at Scrum, right? Is that the given? You can't effectively practice what you don't know, right? So you have to knowledgeable in Scrum. The second is you need to be a servant leader, right? Because you're not a boss. You're not giving an instruction for people to go and do this, and then somebody should just rise up without the voice and just go. No. You need to be approachable. If you're not approachable, people will not tell you what impediments they have. Ultimately, there will be a spill of the timelines that everybody has agreed, and the project will not deliver value when it is supposed to deliver. Okay? You need to have the ability to coordinate, right? Because facilitation is about coordination, respecting the individual ideas of people and making sure that everybody is heard, and at the end of that deliberation, everybody feels a sense of ownership of the decision that has been made. So you need to have the ability to coordinate. I think you should also be a good communicator, okay? You need to be able to speak in clear words or clear expressions so that people don't misunderstand or misinterpret. And you need to get feedback and communicate so that you know what everybody understands. Because there's what is said, there's what people hear, there's what they understand, what they've heard, what you intend to communicate. So you need to be a good communicator. So I think if you put all of these together, fundamentally you need to be strong. Then you're on your way to being a good Scrum Master. And by the way, any member of the team that has practiced Scrum for a long time can actually be nominated to be a Scrum Master. Right? So as long as you have knowledge and then able to do that. For the certification, I also saw someone ask whether it's financial benefit. Yes, huge one. Just to add that. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Samuel. Can you share your experience from the time, taking the Scrum Master certification? Can you share your experience taking the training all the way to actually acing your Scrum Master certification exam? Because I know if you do not ace it, you'll not be Scrum Master certified. So can you just take us through your experience?
Okay, so I would want to say a big thank you for all of the support that came from BNet Learning. I did my training with BNet Learning. I made first contact with BNet Learning at 2015, right? When I did CBAP training with BNet in Lagos. And last year, we've been off and on with the practice of Scrum based off of, what we were doing internally. But the team agreed that it was time to formalize the certification. So I registered again because I enjoyed the services of BNet in 2015. I didn't even go searching for any other trainer. I just went back, tried to make contact with BNet Learning. And fortunately for me, that's why it's not for people to come every now and then. Fortunately for me, I was able to get in touch with BNet Learning, and I think there were a lot of improvements with how we even got started training. So the exchange between my organization and BNet professional, we didn't have any doubt at all we were capable of delivering the service. I am someone who is very keen with audits. So even before I get to deal with any organization, we would have had some metrics to determine whether they are the people to deal with. So all of the metrics then actually met the metric down. Well, yes, let's get training. Got into a cohort. Before the training even started, it was already like, you will get a call, you get email, WhatsApp groups were created, Google Plus and other emails were created to call the organizer, even the facilitator. It was just so fun, to be in the Truthfully, the period I was having my training, I had a lot of distractions because someone was sick in my family, and we were in and out of the hospital. Even some of the classes where my facilitator was teaching, I would just be on headset in the hospital, just listening in. But after the training, I got a lot of support. Okay, there were a lot of follow-up where I would be able to go through the Scrum body of knowledge. I mean, have you taken the practice questions? When are you writing the exam? So the video materials that we had, practice questions on the platform that were writing for us. I think it all made it easy, for the preparation, taking of the examination. So even before the exam, we had a fair idea of what's your preparedness, the level of your preparedness, and maintain was beautiful. Like I said, 5/6 right now. Out of the people that have taken out of the 6 people who did the training, we are at 5/6 all certified. Just remaining one on Friday, and we can now ask for from being
Okay, I'm actually glad to hear that you have done a training before and then you came back. I mean, it means we're doing something right. Yeah, so thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
I think I have my own bit of story. I know when I wanted to do my Scrum Fundamentals exam, I was scared actually. I was a bit scared. I practically delayed the exam, but because I had someone else who was doing it and like 2 other people and they had done theirs. So I'm like, funny enough, I started my course before they started theirs, but I did not do my exam for some reason. I was scared. But because they actually had done theirs, they did their exam, that actually motivated me to. I'm like, oh my, I got this. I can do this. And yes, I passed. Thank you so much, Samuel. So thank you, everybody. We'll just quickly wrap up. We have come to the end of this session. And for those that are considering to do Scrum, I mean, you should actually consider to do Scrum no matter where you work, no matter the organization or industry that you are. So if you're considering to do Scrum, you can come to us. I mean, see the feedback from somewhere. Check us out. So we're having a class starting March 19th, a boot camp starting March 19th. So you can send us a DM, call us, browse through our page, get our contact and get through to us. We'll be happy to help you and we'll be happy to actually put you through acing your Scrum exam. Thank you so much, Samuel. Thank you, Dami. Any final words before we go?
I mean, just to thank everyone for your time and to assure you that if you want to find an entry into tech that is with low barrier, coming into tech through Scrum, Agile routes is one of the stuff you should consider. Right. So yeah, I mean, we want more people to come on board as much as possible. And then, let's transform Nigeria, transform the world through the knowledge of Scrum and Agile. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dami. Thank you, John. Okay, guys. So thank you for joining this session. I really appreciate. We are saying thank you from the Binet team. Bye, guys.
Bye.